Hey friends, good morning. Good Monday morning to you guys. I don't know if you saw my title for today, but it's time to clean out the fridge, okay? I hope you all had a wonderful weekend. And I'm not going to be able to comment too much on comments, but hello to everybody. Say hello when you jump on. But this morning, I wanted to come and just talk to you a little bit about not wasting food. A lot of times we get so busy, we buy all kind of things with good intentions, and they get shoved to the back of the fridge, and then we think that they're not salvageable, okay? For instance, I'm going to show you this, and I'm going to get an example. Here's a little bag of Brussels sprouts. They look kind of pitiful. Like, pitiful. See that? But if you chop off the end and peel off the little thing, peel off the little leaves, then you can get it to look like this. And then you can use them. That's what I'm going to do today. I've had onions that got a little bit too warm and a little bit too much light. So they started sprouting. So I'm using those today too. I also had a rotisserie chicken in my fridge that we had eaten off of, excuse me, that we had eaten off of a little bit. And so I took some celery, some onion that I had already chopped up for another recipe that I only needed about a quarter of an onion. So I had an onion in my fridge just from this weekend. It was a purple onion. I don't normally use those. Those are for salads and cold things, but it'll still give you flavor. I also had a half of a container of beef stock that I had used a week or so ago that was in the fridge perfectly fine. I put it in here. Yes, you can mix stocks. If you have, if you use something for a recipe, you have vegetable stock, chicken stock, beef stock, you can use those if you want to make a good base for a soup. Who's that? Hey, Sarah. But what I'm doing here today is I've got this rotisserie chicken that we ate off of, and I'm just bringing it to a boil in this pot, and I've got my celery that I want to use up because it was starting to, fade a little bit. It's still good. It's still got flavor. That's the best way to use up things like this, is to make you a good stock for soup. And then I've got, excuse me, I got a frog in my throat this morning. But then I've got those onions in here too, and I'm just letting it simmer so that the nutrients from the bones in the chicken and the rest of the meat that's on there and the little bit of skin that's on there, it'll get all those flavors and draw those out and put them in my stock. And then I'm going to take that stock, put it in containers. I always keep, when I go to the Mexican restaurant, a lot of times I'll get their soup. You ever had Mexican chicken soup? It's so good. But anyway, I keep these containers and I wash them. I also buy a lot of soups and stuff from Sam's, because they have the Panera soups. And then they have their own brand of soup that's really good. But that's what I'm doing this morning. I'm cleaning out the fridge. So I've got this in the pot, just kind of on a little simmer. And then over here, let me see if I might have to bring this over here with me. Then over here, I've chopped up some bell peppers, some more purple onion, a little bit of celery that I had. I've been working on my little Brussels sprouts here. And then I've got another rotisserie chicken here that I'm going to use for some chicken salad later on. So Anyway, I just wanted to come in here today and tell you, don't throw away stuff. You can salvage it, okay? Another thing, I don't have it with me because I used it up. The other day, I had a cauliflower that had a little bit of, it wasn't black. It just looked like it was disintegrating a little bit, okay? I know some of you are going to have a heart attack when you hear me say that. But there was a little bit of black on the edge of the cauliflower. I just chopped that off. I cut that off. And I got down to the rest of the cauliflower. It was in perfect condition. And I put it in the oven, which I should have done. I'm so sorry. I should have done a live on that. But I chopped it up in little trees, and I tossed it in some olive oil and some seasoning. You can use everything but the bagel seasoning. You can use just salt and pepper. And I spread it out on a cookie sheet, and I roasted it in the oven for like 30 minutes. And I even sprinkled some bacon bits on there. I was looking up some recipes online, and one of them called for white raisins. So I had white raisins left over from baking at Christmas time. So I chopped up some white raisins and bacon and put it on top of that roasted cauliflower, and roasted it in the oven, and it was absolutely delicious. Most people would have taken that cauliflower and they would have thrown it in the trash, but I salvaged it because it was perfectly good. It wasn't squishy and mushy or anything like that. Hey, Katie. Hey, Brianna. And it was perfectly fine roasted. And my family loved it. Jay, it was funny because Jay said, I had already gone back to the bedroom. He came in late. We're trying to open up a restaurant. He's been working late. And so he said, I came in and I saw that stuff on the sheet pan and I didn't know what it was. So I took a little taste of it. And he said there was like 2 or 3 servings left. He said, everybody else is going to bed. This is mine. And he said he finished off the cauliflower. It was that good. So, but that's what I'm doing too with the little Brussels sprouts today. They were looking kind of sad. See, like this. I showed them when I first got on. They were looking kind of sad. But I'm cutting the bottoms off. Just trim the bottom off and trim your little leaves back. And then you cut them in half. Toss them in some olive oil and some seasoning to your taste. Put them on a sheet pan and roast them in the oven until you see them get a little bit brown, crispy on the edges. And they are absolutely delicious. And you sprinkle a little balsamic vinaigrette on it or whatever you want. Toss it in some dressing. Eat them like they are. You know, sprinkle a little butter on them. You know me, I love my butter. So toss them in a little melted butter. They're so good. And that way your vegetables won't go to waste. Somebody asked me the other day about potatoes sprouting. The reason why, and I know y'all, I'm hitting a lot of information in this one live, but the reason why your potatoes and your onions start sprouting is because they're in too much light and they're too warm. So if you have a pantry or under the cabinet, you can't forget about them. Now, after a while, they will start to sprout some if you have them in a cabinet, because our homes are usually roughly about 68 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit on an average. And so that's a little bit warm for a potato and an onion. You don't want to keep them in the fridge. That's too cold. And they get mushy and too wet in a fridge. But if they start to sprout, then you got them too dark. So cover them. Now, I do keep mine down there in this basket. I need to cover it up with a little black, I've got a black apron in there. I need to start covering it up. And it's down there near a vent where it's coolish usually during the summertime. But it's okay to use them if they start sprouting. You just don't want to plant them if you want to grow your own vegetables, you need to go to the local feed and seed store or plant place, and they have special starter onions and potatoes and garlic and all that kind of stuff, especially for planting. Now, I'm not saying that they won't grow if you plant them. I'm not saying that. But it's just better to get them from a place that you know that it is specifically for that, because these others are grown in mass quantities. I try to get organic when I can, and you can grow them organically in a little home garden if you want to, but I would just suggest getting them from a feed and seed store. I mean, yeah, that kind of thing. But anyway, I welcome your comments. I welcome your suggestions. If you want to learn something special, please just message me and I will do my best to help you out. But today I am just making some soup stock with what I have left over in the fridge. And if you missed out on the first part of this, then go back and watch it. But please reach out to me, because I really want to help you guys fall in love with the kitchen and not be afraid of doing things in the kitchen because you're intimidated by it. And I suggest that you go back and watch some of my other videos. Get on YouTube and look up some folks. There's several other ladies on this platform, Facebook platform, that cook as well. And you know, I'm not a one-trick pony. I'm just a home cook that loves to cook, and I want to try to take the fear out of you about cooking in the kitchen. And if you grew up eating stuff out of a box, I can even help you zhuzh that up if you want to. I can help you elevate your macaroni and cheese or your beef stroganoff out of the box, whatever it is. I just want to help you fall in love with the kitchen. That's my main focus here. And especially young girls who are first starting out, I love mentoring young people and making sure that they know how to maneuver in the kitchen, because one day you're going to be a wife and a mom, hopefully, and you're going to want to be comfortable in the kitchen so you can cook for your family too. So thank you so much. I'm going to pop off of here. But thank you so much for joining me today, and reach out to me. I promise you, I'll answer you really quickly, and we can do a live, all right? So enjoy today. Hope you have a great Monday. Look in your fridge, clean it out, do something with it. If you don't know what to do with it, message me and say, Melanie, I've got XYZ in my fridge. What do I do with it? And I'll help you, okay? So anyway, thank you for joining me in my kitchen today. I love you, and bon appetit.